taking our business virtual. Actually, we've been talking about going virtual long before the Roni Rona came into all of our lives. And the reason that we wanted to go virtual and really like it is really for lifestyle reasons. RJ and I are simple men, and we enjoy. I mean, hey, we didn't start the real estate business, RJ, to have another job, did we? We want to have a life. Would you agree?
Yeah, yeah. You definitely didn't want to get stuck in an office where you feel like you're in prison.
Just like a lot of people who live in apartments, if you happen to catch the apartment versus single family debate, which clearly was lopsided, all the feedback I got was single family really took that one down. And really, that was the consensus. But no, we didn't start the real estate business so we can be stuck in an office, stuck in a Zoom call, stuck in a boardroom, if you will. I think that's a lot of people's goals when they're first starting out, and that's kind of like ingrained into us as Americans. You want to have the fancy office, you want to have your name on the side of the building and whatnot. What we have come to learn is it's actually much better to have low overhead, run a very simple business. Simplicity scales, complexity fails. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think a lot of the times we get caught up with like, you know, we probably watch Boiler Room and Wolf of Wall Street, and we think that we need to have a nice office space and a bunch of people in in there pounding the phones hard. And I guess there's a place for that, but we found a unique way to um, have similar type atmosphere, but not in a office. And if you can create it in such a way where you're not tied down to a brick and mortar business, then why wouldn't you, right? We all went into real estate, at least we did, for lifestyle and passive income. Well, if you have passive income but you got to go to an office every day, well, what's the point, you know?
Not only that, but we're frugal guys. I mean, our mentors have taught us to be frugal and good stewards of capital and money. And that's why so many people want to invest their hard earned money with us, because we don't use investor capital to buy fancy offices and have our name on the side of the building and look cool. We'd rather be profitable and run a business that makes financial sense. But we've actually come up with some tips here and some ways to run a completely virtual portfolio. And you guys could do it too. So we're going to share some pointers. So one of the questions that we got here, RJ, is what are some of the platforms that we use as far as, for our systems? Zoom is the obvious. I'll send it over to you, but the obvious is Zoom, and we've empowered our leaders. Every one of our leaders who's in charge of a department has their own Zoom link, and it's not about expense at this point. So what, you got to pay an extra $19 for another Zoom link for somebody. Give your team their own Zoom link so they're not reliant on your Zoom link and whatnot. Bite the bullet, everybody. If you have a leader in your company, it's a small expense, but everybody should have their own Zoom room when it comes to the leaders of a business. What are some of the other platforms, RJ, that we've adopted?
Yeah, so we use we have a project manager kind of, well, it's yeah, I guess it's like a project management software. We use Now Monday, which is really helped the team communicate and departments know when certain properties come up, whether we're going to renovate them or sell them wholesale, or a new rental comes up done from construction right into dispositions. Everything is like easy. There's sequences and processes in place. So once a property comes through our pipeline, it goes into the necessary channels within Monday. And so it's a lot easier than what we used to use was Google spreadsheets or Google Sheets. And it worked up to a point. It worked well for a long time until the whole like sequences and notifications came into play. It's hard to make all that work together. So Monday's great. Yeah, there's some investment into it, but it's allowed us to really communicate with the team very much in a more efficient manner, and it's easy to use. That's the best thing. So it was easily trainable to the staff, and everyone picked it up pretty quickly.
Another one that we use for our level 10 meetings and kind of use it for goal setting and tasks is asana.com. We use Asana, ASANA. Works out really well. For years, I mean, I pull up Dropbox. Me and RJ have files going back to Dropbox all the way from like 2000, you know, 2000 BC. I think we started.
Oh wow,
um, Dropbox. We're active Google users. So we all have, in fact, we have the G Suite, probably don't use it to its full capability. But I do like the fact that with the G Suite with Google, you can assign email addresses to your team. So you could be like RJ at sellhousecolumbus.com, Dave at the cream cashflowrealestateandmoney.com, whatever you may be. So G Suite is pretty good for assigning email addresses to your team. And that's pretty much the main platforms I think we use. That this is not rocket science here, guys. A QuickBooks, for accounting is a platform that we use. It's all virtual for the cloud. QuickBooks Online. Any other platforms?
Chats. Google Chats is very
Google
active
Chat
for us. So we everyone's on Google in our company. So we have each department as kind of categorized in chats. So
yes,
acquisitions, there's the VAs, there's our US based sales team in there, and it's active throughout the day, So
oh yeah.
We feel that that's really working out for us. I know there's other platforms out there, but we're just trying to consolidate. So we feel that that's another, we used to use Voxer, I think, and Moxtra, and those served its purpose for a little bit until we found that, Google Hangouts was just as good, and it's part of Google anyway, or G Suite. So we use that pretty much every day.
That is our main chat. I got it pulled up right here. We have one for the acquisitions team, one for the funding team, one for the dispositions team. We have one just for the cold callers. We have one for leadership team, which is me, you, and our operations manager. We have a chat just for marketing. We have a chat just for the VAs. We have a chat with the entire company, and I think there's like 12 of us now. It's grown. And then there's some individual chats flying around. We have one for accounting. These are like the main departments, one for inspections, so G Chat has been really been used by us big time. Another question that we had was, when we're doing our virtual, meetings and whatnot, what are some of the policies that we have really like ingrained with the post-COVID world? So one of them that we, started a while back was keep the camera on. We found the level of engagement to be higher when we keep the camera on. It's easy to, hey, we all got stuff going on when we're all working from home. I mean, RJ's got a brand new baby today. Today we're doing a Zoom call with our one of our marketing guys, social media guy. And, I got to block my camera out and mute out because I got a bleeding dog in front of me. She's bleeding, got this thing on her head that's bleeding. We all have life, but, having the camera on when the team is all together and having, set meeting times has really been effective. What other policies, RJ, come to mind on things that we do? Probably at this point, we do it habitually. We don't even realize we're doing it anymore. But what else do we do that kind of keeps the team engaged since we are all virtual?
Yeah, I mean, we'd like to keep it. So we do our daily huddle meetings, in the morning, and like to keep it light and keep them engaged so that they look forward to those calls, right? Because they're, just like a solid team before a football team, before they get out and do a play and go about playing the game, they do a huddle. The daily huddles are key because we talk about what we accomplished the day before, what we're going to be focusing today, and then we like to keep things light by coming up with a fun fact, an interesting fun fact to share with the team. And today we had some today was, our KPI meetings or our level 10 meetings. So it was a little different meeting today, but during the week, it keeps everybody kind of not stale, and they're engaged, they're having fun. And it's a good way to get your team out of the mundane kind of meetings that sometimes tend to go that route when you have the same kind of format. So we look for things to change it up so that everybody's looking forward to rapping with the team. You know what I mean?
The fun fact is big, and what we found is we've got to be the leaders there. We've got to do it. If we're not doing it, they're not doing it,
Mm-hmm.
So I think just yesterday I came up with a fun fact about Elton John on how that was not his birth name. But the fun fact could be anything, guys. It could be like who invented the chocolate chip cookie, or so yesterday I was talking about Elton John got his name. Elton John, his performer name, from two old bandmates. It just doesn't end. So we never know what the other team member is going to bring for a fun fact, and I do think that keeps us a little bit loose. Another thing that we have done is really it's allowed us to scale. So 2020 has been obviously a crazy year for all of us, but it's been actually a really good year because not only have we been able to go 100% virtual, we've also scaled into other markets. And it's, the way we've been able to scale is the team members that have been with us a long time, who, believe in the vision, who know what we're doing. We've actually started a profit sharing program for the department heads. And what that does, it allows them to run their department as their own business. And another thing we've done is we've leveraged B2B relationships. RJ, do you want to touch more on kind of the B2B relationships, on how we've been able to leverage some of that stuff?
Yeah. So, like business to business within like the vendors that we're using.
Vendors and, title companies and
Yeah.
property
So,
management. Yeah.
right. So like the title companies, within each title company, there's usually somebody that kind of is more or less like a transaction coordinator. They're getting in touch with the buyers and sellers, and obviously we're the buyer on a lot of these transactions, and they have to um, make sure the paperwork is there, make sure the lending paperwork is solid. And in one particular title company, there's a couple title companies that we use a lot, but they provide a service that we love, and so we use them a lot, and they handle our buyers, sellers, and lenders really, really solid. I mean, they're hands down probably the best service. So what you can do is you can leverage their systems that they have, so that we don't technically really need that transaction coordination to happen on our end too much. I mean, it still does. We still have to have our ducks in a row, but um, you know, it's easy to manage that closing a lot better when we're leveraging the title company's transaction coordinator. And so another thing that we do is our properties are managed by a third party. But the interesting part of that is that we are able to, control construction to an extent, and also our leasing, which we feel like is the two most critical parts of property management. And they do what they're doing best, which is managing the residents, managing our accounting, and all the back end, right? So it's a happy marriage. I think they love all the business that we brought to them, and in turn they take really good care of us. And so that's also allowed us to get into other markets to do this buy and hold model, because their property management stretches that far. So and we're actually looking into getting to a new market here. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait until we unveil that. I'm bringing it. Very excited about that. The new market. But something you said is very powerful, and I think it goes over other people's heads. They think real estate, they think transactions, they think transaction coordination. Everybody knows buyers and sellers, but there's also an element with lenders. And what RJ is referring to is working with our private lenders. And the title company we work with just really gets it. I mean, our lenders have met this title company and they just understand the paperwork very well. Another thing that we leverage, the B2B thing, is we have a really good representative at the IRA company, the IRA custodian. And, you know, we're emailing with them every single day. They're very responsive because a lot of times we'll help people or somebody become a private lender. They'll roll their money into a self-directed IRA and they don't know what to do. It's a little bit, you know, the DOI paperwork, direction of investment. And, you know, there's just a lot of things that a title company and an IRA custodian, when you're looking at it from the private money standpoint. But going back to the title thing, I mean, we buy so many houses that are in probate, and the title company has a great way, the one we work with, of kind of, you know, being the liaison between the probate attorneys. I can't even tell you how many houses we bought in probate where the title company was the direct communication to the seller's, you know, probate attorney. There's a lot of little nuances that a good title company will do for you. And if they can kind of take some of that transaction coordinator type of communication off your plate and off your team's plate, it just goes a long way. I mean, you can, it's really, truly invaluable. The last thing that we had here, RJ, was talking about our VAs. And we have VA stands for, if you don't know what that means, virtual assistants. We have a lot of them. But I think we're on all four corners of the earth at this point. It's pretty incredible. But in reality, we do have VAs in the Philippines and we have VAs in Mexico. Do you want to touch on the VAs a little bit?
Yeah, so we found that you know, there's strengths and weaknesses at having VAs in one hemisphere and the other hemisphere. So that's why we have both, and we love them. You know, they do a ton of stuff for us. We have a you know, an executive assistant, virtual assistant. We've got cold callers. We've got a lead manager. We have acquisitions VAs and disposition VAs, and it allows us to, you know, get into these other markets and scale this thing because they're awesome. You train them with you know, videos and how-to videos, just like we're doing now on Zoom, and they get it, you know. So you can hire VAs from, you know, Upwork and places like that, or you can go with companies that's all they do is they find virtual assistants and they train them, you know, in the world of real estate specifically. And we work with companies like that because it cuts the learning curve. They're well trained. A lot of them are trained on fair housing because we use VAs for leasing. We use VAs for selling our properties. And like I was telling you, in acquisitions, lead management, cold calling, and getting properties in contract and getting them sold. So that's what we do with our VAs. We love them. I think you're on mute, Dave.
Yeah, because I just had a sneeze attack, so I muted out there, so you didn't have to hear that. Another thing that we use that we didn't mention is we use all digital signature stuff. So we use a platform called Loop, which is really good. And then again, don't go cheap. When you have a VA, set them up like a business person, you know, give them their own login for Zoom, give them their own login for email, give them a good email. Don't like try to skimp, you know, nickel and dime. If you want this person to be a high performer, make sure they have all the tools necessary. So, you know, every VA is treated like an employee. I prefer VAs simply because, you know, there's way less risk. I mean, you know, there's a lot of actual risk and exposure that comes with having an American in-house employee. I mean, how many employment lawsuits have you seen because somebody feels, you know, they were treated differently or something like that? You actually decrease that risk massively working with a virtual team. And we have been able to do that. And I think a lot of it goes back to what you first said, RJ, is keeping it fresh, man. And that's what it's about. You know, every day we show up and I try to think of ideas to, oh, here's something cool that we do with our team. You know, when we celebrate a win, what do we do, RJ? When somebody has a win on a Zoom call?
Well, you've got your bell and I got my cha-ching. So
ready? There you go. Somebody makes a sale. Somebody signs a lease. We bought a house. We sold a house. We cashed a check. Somebody's having a good day. Celebrate wins through audio. Since we can't high five each other, you got to have your own version of an audible high five is kind of what I call that. Yeah. But I think that's kind of it for the questions. I know we want to put a bow on this thing. RJ, any final closing tips or thoughts on if somebody wanted to take their business 100% virtual?
Yeah, I think the first thing that they got to think of is that they got to remove the mindset of having it be a brick and mortar. It doesn't have to be. You know, there's friends that we know in our network that have always been virtual. They've never gone on a brick and mortar. And nowadays with what's going on in this environment, you're going to save a lot of money, you know? So think about it. I mean, you could, what really do you need an office for? Yeah, I get it. You can host events and, have this persona that you've got it. I mean, and if that's what you want, then go for it, or you could have less overhead, more cash flow, and be able to do this business anywhere in the world.
I'll take the latter.
It's what you want. If you want that, go ahead. And that's what you want. And we chose to do this so that Dave can go to Machu Picchu and I can go in the Philippines and whatever we want to do. And the business still keeps on running. And
the business keeps running because guess what, everybody? It doesn't matter if I'm going to Peru or Puerto Rico or anywhere. The bell's coming with me. I'll be ringing the damn bell from the beach, from the mountains, from the ski lodge, from anywhere that we choose. So we've set our business up to go virtual. And we've wanted that. COVID just kind of shifted us into gear and kicked us into gear. But yeah, leave any questions you have on any of the platforms we talked about, any of, how we work with our staff and empower our staff and team, how we do the business to business type of stuff and leverage other companies. Any questions you have on virtual assistants, VAs, anything like that, leave it in the comments below. Make sure you're visiting us online. We're giving stuff away constantly. I'm talking real life tools, real life spreadsheets that we use every day. We're putting out there, and we kind of have a platform for that, and that is risewiththecream.com is kind of the official. It's becoming the home for all the stuff that we've been putting out. And, that's pretty much it. Just know your life matters. You have a voice. Don't forget to use it. And RJ, you anything else?
No, have a great weekend and enjoy this weather while we still got it.
Enjoy the weather while we got it, everybody. We'll see you on the next video.